Entitlement reaches all walks of life, as you'll find out in this episode of Entitled People. Our first one is from I Am He Cat. I once made the mistake of offering a friend cheap accommodation when he was in a bind. It started when I was heading out of town to care for a family member. Hubby's friend contacted him the day I was leaving, and it turned out he needed a place to stay. I told hubby that he should tell his friend that for $500 a month, food and utilities included, he can occupy our spare room. No problem, right? Wrong. He moved in the same day I left. First red flag, he was ready to move. The next day, he hands hubby $300 and later a 65-inch TV, surround system, and a couch delivered and set up in the living room. Second and third red flags. He can't give us the agreed upon rent, but can afford all this brand new luxury stuff? Also, how did he get it there in one day? The real icing on the cake, and I'm hearing this after the fact from my hubby, friend tells hubby we can't touch or go near his shit. What? No, I straight up told hubby, get him out now, or I'm coming home and lighting his shit on fire in the front lawn. Last flag, he apparently had an exit strategy cause he was gone the next day. He never needed a place to stay. He was banking on my hubby being a doormat. Surprise, bitch, I will never lay down and take your entitled bullcrap. What a great friend. You know, that's the furthest definition from a friend I could even think. A friend is somebody who's there for you when you need them, but not somebody who's gonna take advantage of you or what you can provide. This next one is by SnowPickles5616. This happened decades ago when my kids, now middle-aged, were little, long before the interwebs, camera phones, etc. Sorry for any mistakes. On phone, English is first language, but typos may occur. So I was living in a rental house with a driveway, no garage, and I didn't drive myself, but I was expecting a friend over from out of town. I called the non-emergency line about people constantly parking across my driveway and was told I was entitled to 20 feet either side, and given a number to call, as I told the person I had put up signs but people kept tearing them down. Tickets were $20, quite a good bid in those years. So came the day my friend was due and someone was across my driveway. I called the number. About 2 hours later, there was a banging on my door. Opened it to find entitled neighbor, hereafter referred to as EN. Entitled neighbor brandishing the ticket. Are you the person who called the cops and got me ticketed? Me pointing to the car. Is that your car? Yes. Yep, I'm the one. You could have just come over and asked me to move. Funny, I didn't see the brass nameplate with your name and address. I live right here. Gesturing. I always park around here. Yeah, I know, and you're always parking across my driveway. This is the first time I've parked across your driveway. Well, at $20 a pop, I bet it's the last time too. She stormed off, but quit parking across my driveway. For the rest of the time I lived there, the driveway was kept clear. I guess word got around. This neighbor has no right to be mad because chances are if you were the one putting out the signs, they might have been the ones tearing them down, so they can't really act like they're shocked that, they got caught parking where they shouldn't. This next one is from StarWorld8311. First, a little background. Our band teacher in high school was entitled, verbally abusive, would make sexual comments to all the girls, and encouraged hazing of new band students. I got fed up with band after 10th grade and quit because I couldn't deal with that teacher anymore. Now to the story. The summer between my junior and senior years of high school, I was out of the country for a camp. I arranged to sign up for my classes for senior year on the day that the freshmen were signing up, because the day the seniors were signing up was the day I got back to the US. I got to school on my sign-up day with my proposed schedule, all planned and an alternate one planned as well. Normal procedure for this process in US public high schools. I walked up to the table, asked the staff member for my sign-up form, pre-printed with my name and other identifying information on it, and was absolutely shocked when she said, "Oh, it looks like you've signed up already." I said, "No, I haven't. I just got back from camp." She said, "Well, then someone else must have done it for you. How nice of them." I corrected her because no one would have signed me up for classes without my permission. She printed out my schedule as it appeared in their computer, and all my classes were messed up. Every single one. I was furious. I demanded to know who did that, who had access to their computers, who could have changed everything like that and scheduled me without anyone noticing. She says that there was no way to know who was responsible. I started crying, right there in the hallway. I sat down at the table and looked closer at my schedule. I saw that band was on the schedule, and that was the reason everything was wonky, because that meant I couldn't get into any of my classes I needed to take to graduate. Right then and there, I knew exactly who was responsible. Just as I figured that out, the band teacher came walking out of the office. I walked straight up to him as he was talking to two band students who I knew, shoved my schedule in his face, and I said, "I know you were the one who did this. Why? How dare you schedule me for my classes when you don't even know me and I'm not your student anymore? Haven't been for a year." I think he was shocked that I was yelling at him in front of everyone and confronting him in public, but I didn't care at all. He actually admitted that he'd done it. I thought it was my full name. There was only one person by my same first and last name in the whole school. I told him that he was to never talk to me again, mess with anything official of mine, or get anyone else too. Or I'd get the principal and vice principal involved, who already knew about all his bad behavior. I was able to schedule every class I wanted to, because all the classes I wanted as my first choice schedule were still available. I feel like that band teacher does not belong at that school. He does not belong around any students. He needs to just be fired and removed, because it's teachers like this who end up committing offenses in the future and end up in jail. All the flags are there. This next one is by Missoula Redhead. So this happened earlier today. My 13-year-old daughter was sitting on our front porch in a rocking chair, enjoying the weather. She was wearing a pair of pajama pants and a cropped tank top, with her knees drawn up to her chest. A woman drove by, then circled around. The woman proceeded to get out of her car, walk to my daughter sitting on the porch, and to yell at her that she was too exposed and needed to put on more clothes because her outfit was distracting the woman's son. My daughter told the woman that she was dressed and that what she was wearing was perfectly fine. The woman proceeded to yell at her, over and over, that she was too exposed, and how dare her parents let her wear crop tops. She was controlled by the devil, etc. As my daughter walked into the house. This is where I love my kid. She got a plate and gave it to us. We filed a police report of harassment. Here's to hoping a quick word from the cops will be the end of it. I would ask who in their right mind would literally stop their car and start yelling at a 13-year-old about how they're dressed, but then I realized nobody in their right mind would do that, and these entitled people, this Karen, is clearly out of her mind. And our final one is from Lizzie B66. Edit, just to explain that this was about how places were recognized in the UK for postal addresses in the computer system. So England, Scotland, Wales, and NI are subsets of United Kingdom. Sorry if anyone thinks that I meant there were not real countries where you read below. So I was in Germany for work. I'm working on a system and trying to get the UK services set up correctly. I find that they have created England, Scotland, and Wales as separate countries rather than regions of the UK, and that Northern Ireland doesn't even exist. Reminds me of that joke. I'm no Eurosceptic. I've been to France and I've seen it. My male German colleague decides that this is the time to mansplain me how the United Kingdom works. He informed me that Northern Ireland was not in England. I was trying to tell him that as an entity, Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom, so in the system we were writing, it needed to be linked to Great Britain to make up the United Kingdom. Because it's Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and we don't see Scotland, Wales, and England as individual places, they are Great Britain, but we don't use that as a postal address. It's United Kingdom. They replied, yes, exactly. Northern Ireland is not in England, it's in Ireland. No, it's not in Ireland, it is Northern Ireland, a separate territory. They replied that I was wrong. Hey, I only live in the UK, mate, and it's a part of Ire. No, it's not. It's part of the United Kingdom since the 1600s and was not ceded into Ire after World War I.
Well, I think you'll find that I'm right. I've been there.
I pull out my UK passport which says United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland passport. Cue shocked faces all around. You've got to love the know-it-alls, because the know-it-alls think they know everything. They assume because they read a couple facts, maybe went somewhere one time, that they know everything there is to know, when in reality, they usually know next to nothing. Alright, that's enough entitlement for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Entitled People. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, have a great day and stay safe out there.